the nitty-gritty. Let's talk about how you market yourself. You're in a society right now that marketing is so awesomely easy. It's cheap. You're in a society right now that you can market yourself in so many different ways. All right, one, make yourself a YouTube that highlights your work. What kind of work you do, what you do, highlights your work. Just show your work. And maybe you're not going to do it as a channel like me, but at one time I used to do YouTube, and all the clients' quilts that I used to do, I would put them on a video, put them all in a video and download them, and they're just pictures I took of my clients' work. And then people would ask me about my work, and I say, hey, go on my YouTube and you'll see all the work I've done for my clients. Free advertisement. YouTube is free. Go on Instagram. If you have an Instagram, make one of your business so that you can put pictures of your work. Facebook is free. That is marketing, people, and it's free. At one time, this kind of stuff used to cost a lot of money. We get it for free. Also, too, I want you to sit down and make yourself some really nice business cards. Now, your business cards. You want to make sure that your business cards are of a good quality card stock, because you want that person to hold on to that card. Also, to make it look as professional as you possibly can. I've learned for myself, like, this is one of my cards. The less is better. Like here I have embroidery and all this information. People don't read it. You know, and I use this beautiful font. I've had some people say, especially, you know, because I do quilting, they say to me, I can't read your cards. So the cleaner the font, the better, the more professional it looks. Give the details of what you do, but not too many, because highlight what you do best or what you want your business to be, and make sure your name and phone number on it. Just simplify it as much as you can, because people really don't really look at your cards if they're too busy. In sociology, when I was in college, one of the things I learned, yes, I am educated. I have my bachelor's in sociology and my minor's in psychology. I went to A&M University, but this is what I learned. They did a marketing research, and one of the research was, what cards will random people hold? And they said the higher the quality of the card stock, the more likely an individual who doesn't know you will hold the card. Meaning, if you use a flimsy paper to do your cards or flyers, it'll more likely be thrown in the trash. So all those people that put the flyers on your windowsill, people will more likely throw away that paper. But if you use a heavier weight cardstock paper, they in the research they said that the person is more likely to hold on to that document longer than if it wasn't a heavier weight. And remember, the longer it's in their presence, then sooner or later they're like, what did they do? So your card should be a good quality cardstock card, and your flyer should be of good quality. Now on your flyer. I love flyers. I make them for quilting, embroidery, and vinyl. I do it for everything that I do, and I wanted to share with you, I use landscape on Word, and so I make my cardstocks pretty. This is all I use. I don't use a whole sheet. As a matter of fact, they're double-sided. You see my double-sided? I have it folded so you don't know my number. Double-sided. You see my vinyl and you see my embroidery. Now, in this cardstock, I want you to decide what you want to price your items for. For example, what would you price yourself to do one item? Regularly, when I do one job for a client to do embroidery, I charge, give or take, $2 more, because to set up for one item takes twice the amount of time. And that's kind of a generalization. It's not necessarily the truth. Sometimes I charge $1 more, sometimes 50 cents more, because to set up for one product takes forever. Now, in my card, and I only do this for different associations. In my card, I have the regular price, and I have a specialty bulk rate price, a special bulk rate. Now, the reason you want to do this is the brain, we found out in psychology that the word sale, S-A-L-E, that simple word on an item, the brain starts to snap neurons. That's why, have you noticed, Walmart, anybody else, there's always a, Lord, there's always the regular price on the bottom and the sale price in bright red, because they want your brain to get excited to purchase more than it expected. Have you ever gone to a store and you intended to buy one thing, but you saw sale items and this sale was too good to pass up, and you ended up spending more money than you expected? And the reason is we like deals. Everybody likes deals. So I have a regular price and I have a deal price. When I do work for people, I'm willing to give them like 50 cents less or $1 or $2 less if they're willing to bring me more than one item. And the more items they bring me, the better the deal. That's how I do that. So I do bulk rate specials, and I do that with everything. I do that with vinyl, I do that with embroidery, and I do that with quilting. Bring me 3 quilts, I'll give you 1 for free. And there's a lot of benefits with that. Not only the benefit is the person who brings you the 3 quilts, they get 1 for free, so they're getting a deal. They're getting a free quilt. A free quilt, people. And I quilt the smallest one, and they have to bring it all at the same time, unless you're my regular, and I'll cut you some slack. Only if you're my regular. If you're a new client, you have to bring me all 3 quilts in one shot, and I will give you the smallest one for free. That means no thread charge, no charge at all. At all. But you're also going to have to bring me 2 other quilts. And so what that does is it's easier to do assembly for me, meaning to get ready to do a job for a client, I will determine one day and quilt all those 3 quilts in one shot. There's a rhythm about it. It goes faster, and that client is getting a deal. That client will advertise for me, and that client will bring me more work in one shot. So I'll make bigger chunks of money when I do work like that for them. Now, you determine your specials, but I always give specials. Sometimes I'll just give the thread for free. Sometimes I will give my clients free batting. Like, bring me a couple quilts, bring me 3 quilts, and I'll give you the batting. Sometimes I'll do stuff like that, and I will do it on a flyer. Now, in the summer, I do a lot more flyers for quilting, because no one's really making quilts in the summer here in Texas. It's too hot. It's too hot. So, to encourage them to get the quilts going, because, November's coming, I'll do a flyer and I'll do a really great special, because, remember, I want to do $1 100 times. I want to have a continuous flow of income coming into my house, and that income only comes if my machines are running. If my machines aren't running, I'm not making money. And I don't want to wait till someone can give me $100. I'm willing to do sales and do specials, because as long as my machine is running, I'm making some money. I'm making some money. You're making money. But I do that with my flyers. So have a flyer with your regular price and also price a bulk rate. If you bring me so many, I will give you a deal. With my embroidery, sometimes I do logos and digitize. For digitizing, what I do is I tell the client, usually I charge $25 for my digitizing, which is expensive, but it's worth it. I mean, you're digitizing a custom design for a client, which sometimes takes forever. I tell them I will do the digitizing for free if you bring me 10 items to embroider that logo on. And so clients are more willing to bring me those 10 items than pay me for the digitizing. Do you see how I do a special? That's how I do that. If you bring me 10 shirts, I'll take $1 or $2 off of the embroidery to give you a deal. So you're getting a deal and I'm also getting more work. Do you see that? Those clients who I did that work for tend to tell other clients what I do, and then I end up getting more work that way. Free advertisement. But I'm marketing myself very well by my flyer. And I do that with my vinyl, and I do that with my embroidery, and I do that with my quilts. You've made your flyer. What do you do with it? I recommend that whatever you're doing, if you're vinyl, embroidery, quilting, whatever you do, make enough that you can go to different places and drop it off. For example, I do embroidery, right? I can do embroidery for cheerleading, for businesses, for schools, for things like that. Make your flyer specific to who you're going to drop it off to. My flyer is specific to youth associations. So I buy a whole bin of cardstock, bright yellow or orange, and see, you saw my purple, bright colors, and I specifically have everything set up for the youth association. So youth associations, they do baseball jerseys, baseball hats, baseball bags, what else? Patches, towels, stuff like that. And on my flyer, it has the price range for those items. And then I go and I talk to the lady or person who runs that association, and I drop it off to them and say, hey, when they get their jerseys, can you do me a favor? Can you put this in their bags? And establish a relationship with the person that's running that association. Get to know people who do baseball, who are in baseball teams. Tell them, hey, who do you talk to? Call. Establish a relationship first without any expectation of gain. Make sure you establish a relationship. Get to know the person who runs the thing, and just have a flyer specific to that group that you want to do work for. For example, if you're doing cheerleading and you do vinyl or embroidery, if you do cheerleading, you can even do quilts for cheerleading. In your flyer, you should have ribbons. You should have name on jersey, sew patches. What else can you do? Tell them that you're willing to do embroidery cheerleading blankets for them, that you're willing to put a name on cheerleading bags, and have the flyer specific to where you're dropping them off. Then go to cheer groups. Now, if you don't know about that, then talk to people who have kids in cheer groups. Get to know the community you want to do work for. That's how you market yourself. And then ask them questions like, what are the things that you would want embroidered for your cheerleading? And then make your flyer and your pricing specific to that, and give a really great rate for bulk groups. Meaning, I'm willing to do a certain amount of money if you bring me a certain amount of bags. And I usually have a standard. If you bring me a bag to embroider one time, I'll charge you $8. If you bring me 10, up to 10 bags, it's just up to 10 and more, and I don't change my rates after that, I will do those bags for $6.50. So I'm giving them $1.50 off of my price, because I'm getting 10 bags. That's 60 something, maybe 70 something dollars for those 10, instead of just $8 for the one. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see that? So If you want to do work for schools, do specific things for the teacher, for the teachers. Like the teachers, man, those teachers, the school teachers, they all have groups and, you know, little teams that they have, like little clusters. Do bulk rates for them. Like I'll embroider, I'll do vinyl for your shirts. I'll do embroider for you. Do stuff like that specific to the school. Have also the school colors in mind and the kind of services that you could provide for them, and go to the school and become a vendor for the school. As a matter of fact, that's something that someone told me I needed to do. Here in Clemens, they sell a lot of decals, and they do a lot of embroidered hats and shirts with vinyl and stuff like that. So someone told me that I should go and become a vendor for the school and apply. And so go apply for the schools that you want to do work for, and then have a flyer with a price list for that. And also look at your competitors. Look at what they price. Like the lady down the street at the time, she was pricing $8 just to touch a hat. And I'm like, screw it. I'd rather have the money than have no money. And I'm willing to do it for $3. And I ended up that year making so much money just on hats that didn't take me that long to do. And she didn't get that work. Oops. Oops. Be competitive, I guess. And when you meet people and they ask you what you do, tell them, oh, by the way, I'm an embroiderer. You want to see my work? Click your Facebook and show them your work. There's nothing like pictures. People love pictures. And then tell them that they could join your group. They could look at your website. And I don't recommend you getting a website. I just... Sorry, website people. I just recently got a website. I spent $400 a year for that website. I have paid it in full, and I've had it for 2 years. And to be honest, I haven't done anything with it, and it's not made me any money. And one of the reasons is because I haven't put any time into it. And there's so many other avenues that you can do for free. You can do YouTube for free. You could do Instagram for free. You can do Facebook for free. As a matter of fact, I even think you could do a business on Facebook now for free. I don't know if they charge you a fee, but it's pretty free. You can also do Pinterest and show your work on Pinterest. And also you can also do, where is it? Etsy? You can put your work on Etsy instead of a website. I paid for a website because I was going to get a distribution company to get me quilting supplies, and that kind of fell through. So at this current time, I only have one item on there, and the reason I have that one item is because I wanted to see if it worked. Not really because I want to sell it. At this current time, we have free advertisement. Marketing is advertisement. And a lot of us are doing a disservice to ourselves because we're not using those free services to advertise what we do. And understand that you only have a couple seconds with the client. So have cards on you. Here I do cards, and on your cards, if you do have an Instagram, Facebook, or a YouTube, have it on your card and tell them, be excited about your work. Look what I do. I'm my biggest advertiser. I tell everybody about my YouTube. Hey, I do YouTube. Tell them about what you do, and then get your best video that shows your best work and play it for them. People are curious, nosy people. Play it for them and show yourself off. And then in the privacy of their home, they have your card that has those things. As a matter of fact, these cards, I need to make new ones because I need to update them, that have your YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat. I also have a blog that I used to do all the time, and that had in depth my work, like it had my work, and I used to lead them to my blog. And my blog at that time, if you're curious, is athreadofscarlet.net. My dumb website is athreadofscarlet.com because I like thread. Yeah. So that is how you market yourself.